And a good lunch hour to you. Dave Nussbaum here, and we are looking at the threat for the potential for severe weather across our area today. Right now, nothing to worry about here. This afternoon looks just fine across the New Orleans area. As we get into this evening and just about the end of the Saints game, that's when I think we will start to see the threat for some of the strong storms coming on in, potentially some of them even severe. Right now, we have a tornado watch in effect for parts of western Mississippi, North Louisiana, western Louisiana too. It does include just part of our viewing area, Washington, Tangipahoa parishes, as well as over toward the Baton Rouge area. This does go until 6 o'clock this evening, so we are going to continue looking for the threat for some severe weather coming on in as we get closer to dinner time, again farther away from our area at the moment, and then eventually coming in a little later tonight. Right now I see these showers kind of popping up over the Mississippi coast, back to the North Shore, back toward Letcher and over toward the Ville Platte area. Some of these are the ones we have to watch for potentially for tornadoes, but at this point though, they're just some light rain showers. Atmosphere is not favorable over here yet to see any kind of tornadoes. So that's some good news. But from Bogalusa back over toward Poplarville, right along Picayune there on I-59, we are looking at a little bit of some rain continuing to fall there. Back to the southwestern Louisiana, this is where the area currently is very, very favorable for tornadoes, and in fact, large tornadoes, and we've had a few so far, even one on the ground right now. You can see some of the tornado warnings near the Fort Polk area heading toward Alexandria, and kind of stretching farther back over towards Sabine River area, kind of just off to the west of Lake Charles. It's this location here and the track that they're making off to the northeast. We could see the threat for some rough weather out there. Right now, a large supercell kind of just off here to the east of the Doppler radar near Fort Polk area. You can see where Fort Polk is located here. That is the one that has had a large tornado on the ground with it. And it's this little circulation you see right there with this tornado one until 12:30. Another one kind of following behind it as well. And both of these have the threat for tornadoes. This is where that location is. That's the tornado right there. This is debris detection. It was much more prominent looking earlier, but that means when we see it on the radar like this, that is causing damage and lofting it into the air, and the Doppler radar can pick up the debris, and that's that little circle you see right there. That's where the tornado currently is located as it continues on its trek here off to the northeast. It kind of working not too far away from the Hineston, Louisiana area, heading up over toward Otis and away from the Fort Polk area, which is good news. But nonetheless, though, still impressive little tornado kind of working its way over the core area and continues on that track there to the northeast. You can see already a few tornadoes were reported beside that one. These reports coming in not too far from DeRidder area. A tornado earlier there, and another one not too far away from Elizabeth, Louisiana as well. So we've seen some damage in tornadoes there. You can see where that tornado watch is in the line of storms coming on in. This is the cold front here, but out ahead of it, when you get these thunderstorms developing, some of them can tap into the really unstable atmosphere, and that causes the storms to rotate and produce tornadoes. And in this case, quite a few of them already starting to develop all ahead of that front as it continues on that track farther off to the east. Greatest threat for severe weather, level 4, moderate risk, is rare to see that. That's from Jackson to Natchez back toward Alexandria, right where those tornadoes are. Level 3 enhanced risk, also a better area for tornadoes to develop in that region there. Kind of does include Baton Rouge and maybe parts of Tangipahoa Parish in Washington. That's why they're in that tornado watch, and the rest of us are not in that watch. And there's your greatest threat in that location. Ready to see where some of the storm reports of tornadoes are. Does not include us. Doesn't mean we have a zero threat, just a lower threat compared to the rest of the area. So we have a low threat for heavy rain, a moderate threat for gusty winds and hail, and a low threat for tornadoes in New Orleans as we head throughout the evening hours. That front moves through after midnight. We go from the 80s today to 50s as we headed to tomorrow. Right now, though, it's 77 degrees, dew point 70. It's incredibly humid out there, and you can see across the area near 80 degrees in Gonzales. It is 80 in Lake Charles, or was 60 in Shreveport. How about 40 degrees in Dallas? Strong winds behind the front and ahead of the front as well, too, and that's going to allow us to get that threat for some storms coming in. So here are the showers kind of popping up this afternoon. Nothing severe. Even through 7 o'clock, things look good as you head to the Saints game. There's the front with some possibility of severe storms with it, moving just north of us by midnight, through the area after midnight by 2 a.m. down to Belchase and Galliano. Temperatures fall behind it. Rain comes to an end for the morning commute tomorrow. 40 is at lunchtime tomorrow. How about that? And only rebounding to about 50 degrees by the afternoon. So if you're heading out to the Saints game, we are looking at things going downhill, especially when you leave the game. The threat for strong to possibly severe storms, and then we'd stay in the 50s the rest of the work week.
All right, a lot of changes ahead for us. Thank you, Dave. Well,